What's up, Everyday Blades? How you guys doing on this Sunday afternoon? Good day for a knife review. I'm pretty far behind the curve on this knife. I did get the smaller Spartan Harsey in and really liked it, and just haven't found a deal on one of these. They're like all stuck at the same price, and it's pretty close to retail. But the recent dip in the knife market made this one available to me at a discount. So I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it today. It's just kind of a overview. This is not a full-blown review. But so for the first one, of course, it just happens to me a lot. I'm not able to get the full-size model, so I buy the smaller one, and it's just not what I hoped it would be. You know, I love it, but it's just not big enough. I have very large hands. I'm a big guy, and it's just not big enough. And boy, I definitely don't have the issue with this. This is sure Goroff F95 size. So this, I've heard a lot say that this is a cross between a Chris Reeves and a Hinder, and I see that. It's a good knife. There are some things that I think are very obvious that could be done to this knife to make it epic, just off the charts. One of the major things is the milling. I mean, there's no milling inside these big, thick, fat titanium scales. And it's not a deal breaker by any means, because let's see what the weight is. The weight doesn't bother me that bad, but it's just something that could have been really, really nice on it if they had done it. So we're 5.9 ounces. I mean, that's not tragic by any means. Let me turn this off. That's not tragic by any means, but that's something that really could have been done. Big home run is S45N. I am a huge fan of S45N, especially being a knife sharpener, because it's extremely easy to sharpen. I pound away on 20 CV all the time, man. It seems like most of my knives are 20 CV, and I love it. It stays sharp a long time. But man, it eats up my diamond stones and takes a while to sharpen a knife. But you know, it holds it for a while. But S45 holds it for a while too, and I think it's a good trade-off. 20 CV to me, I would trade a little bit of the edge retention for easiness of sharpening, and this stuff here is easy to sharpen. Let's look at some size comparisons, just some traditional knives. Let's get this box out of the way. I didn't buy this new. I bought this from a member. But this was in the box. So I like NC Blades, so I just want to support them. Great company, great people. Rat 1. And Rat 2. You can see it's bigger than the Rat 1. Not by a whole lot, but I'll tell you what kind of got my attention today was the difference in, and I really wish I had the other knife here. I think there's a 1/2 inch difference in that length of that blade and the length of this blade. And that is night and day in the knife game. I mean, that knife is literally feels like a half or less the size of this knife. And you're talking about a 1/2 inch on the blade. That's a very small measurement, but man, look at the difference in the knife when the blade's a 1/2 inch bigger. It's huge, which I like. I like big knives, no doubt. So when I got this, like a lot of knives, the lock bar pressure was too tight. And I think it had grease, had tons of grease inside of it, what it looked like. The action just didn't work great. I see why the person that had it sold it. I do. It definitely had no fidgetability to it whatsoever. So I do what I did with all my knives. I took it apart, cleaned it, polished the washers, put Gunny Glide on it. The best Gunny Juice is the best pivot oil I've found. Till I used that, I couldn't see a difference in any of them. They all were the same. When I put that Gunny Juice in there, it was a whole different ball game. And now this action is great. It's not necessarily fall shutty, but it's shake shut. And I don't think it's got a lot of use on it, so I don't think it's broke in yet. I'm a big fan of washers, and this knife's on washers. Me and washers get along great. especially out in the shop, working out in the shop. You get grindings and stuff in there. When you have bearings, that's a recipe for trouble. We like to go mudding and go to the lake. We have a house on the lake down the road, and it's sandy, and man, those environments are not good for bearings. I only take washer knives when I go out there. So overall, I'm really pleased with the knife. I'd love to see some hollowing out of the scales, but here's one thing that I'm a huge fan of. They put the lock bar cut out on the inside. I'm starting to see more and more of that, and I hope that becomes a trend. I'm a big fan. One thing that is a negative is the huge space in the lock bar cutout. I mean, you could drive a truck through there. It's probably the biggest I've ever seen. I would definitely use a wire EDM on that and get that thing down, because man, you could probably cut that with a grinder. But the knife functions perfectly. There's no lock stick. Don't think they have any type of lock bar insert. No, it doesn't look like it. Just a detent ball. I'm pleased with it. I love the knife. I knew that I would because I like the smaller one, but this is a different feeling knife because it's heavier, more robust, and one thing about it, I have huge hands, and these cutouts fit my hands perfectly. Boom, boom, boom. It's like they made this knife for me. I could almost feel like if you had smaller hands, this knife wouldn't fit you very well. I wear 2XL gloves. But yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan. I like the plain finish, the monochromatic finish. Yep, very good. I like the way the pocket clip is recessed in there. I love the cool little cover up for the right and left. If you're gonna have a righty and lefty, that's the way to do it. Don't just leave nasty holes sitting there. Huge lanyard holes. I don't do much lanyard. I have one knife with a lanyard on it. It's just because I like the lanyard bead so much. One of my Shuros. But yeah, that's a overview of the Spartan Harsey, the large daddy. I want to put it up against one more knife. I want you to see. This is one of the reasons I like it. Here's the knife that I do have the lanyard bead on. Really close to the Shura F95. I mean, they could be brothers. Yeah, one of my admins sold me that Shura bead. I normally don't do lanyards, but I really like that bead. And I really like this knife. So anyway, there she blows. Spartan Harsey, Big Daddy. Guys, thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We're almost at 5,000 members as of today. We're about to do a bunch of giveaways. We've got a lot of new sponsors coming in, and we're going to get you guys lots of knives. So click that like button, subscribe. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.